Oh, well. Okay. That was fast this time. We are already live, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah, just when you think you know a program or an app, they change up on you. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time, it's time, it is time. So, we're going to give you about 60 seconds to let all of your friends and family know that we are live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. They can join us. You got two ways to join. So, there's no excuse for people not to be here. So, go ahead and take a moment, if you would, to invite family and friends. For those of you who are already here, thank you. We appreciate you. And let's go see here. Uh-oh. We lost Pastor Weaver for a second, but he will be back, I am sure. He will be back. There we go. Okay. I hope everyone is staying cool. It is very hot here in the ATL. It yesterday, I think the high was 96, 97, somewhere around there, and the same for today. And of course, in Atlanta, it's often, frequently, usually very humid. So that makes it feel like, even though it might be, 90, 92, it makes it feel like it's 100 degrees often. So please make sure you're drinking plenty of water and put on your sunscreen. Please put on your sunscreen. Don't forget that part. And just make sure you're taking care of yourself, which is interesting because we're going to be talking about other ways that people need to take care of themselves this evening. So we're just inviting a few friends to join us, and we hope that you are too. All righty. Okay. I think I'll come back and try to invite some more people in a minute. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Marcia Cradle, one third of your hosting team, and we also have Coach Lima and Pastor Kennard
Having
Weaver.
some
Welcome back,
technical
everybody.
difficulties on my end.
Can you
Greetings,
hear us,
greetings.
Pastor Weaver?
Having some, I can. I'm having some technical difficulties on my end, so it keeps reloading itself.
Ah, okay. That's
We'll
what I
keep
said. As
going
soon as we
until
think
we
we
can.
know a program or an app, there's some change that comes up and makes something else happen. But it's all that means that we are going to have an extra good conversation tonight. If somebody, that old enemy out there is trying to block what you're getting ready to say. So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Lean In with CWJ. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that sounds simple, but for many of us, it is incredibly difficult to do. And that thing that we're talking about is rest. Rest. Our topic tonight is knowing when to take rest before rest takes you. Some of us have become experts at pushing through. We push through exhaustion, we push through stress, we push through disappointment, we push through because people are depending on us. We push through because there's work to be done. And sometimes, if we're being truthful, we push through because we've convinced ourselves that slowing down somehow means we're weak, lazy, or falling behind. But what happens when your body says, enough? That's enough. What happens when you're physically present but mentally and emotionally depleted? What happens when the thing you once loved doing begins to feel like another obligation? So, tonight we want to talk about recognizing the warning signs before rest is no longer a choice. And we also want to talk about the guilt that sometimes comes along with resting, especially when you're the person everyone counts on. So, Coach Lima, Pastor Kennard, let's lean in. Why is it so difficult for some of us to simply give ourselves permission to rest?
Let's lean in, right? And let's just be transparent with you. Um, one of us on this call last week just had to lean in and said, "Hey, I would love to be able to join you guys on the podcast, but my body has spoken to me, right? My mental has spoken to me. I need to rest." And I know that my friend, I hope that she will grant me permission to oust her tonight because she absolutely is the one who has influenced this show on tonight. So, Coach Lima, thank you so much for your transparency and for your openness and for allowing us. Because let's just start the show this way. Let all of us just make a confession right now. We are tired.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again. We are tired. We are living in a time where people are tired, but we have learned how to function tired. We get up tired. We go to work or go about our day tired. We parent while tired. We lead while tired. We serve while tired. We help everybody else while we ourselves are tired. And then we go to bed tired, only to
Mm.
wake up the next day to have to do it all over again. And because we are still producing, people sometimes assume that we are okay. But functioning is not the same as flourishing. Say that again. Functioning is not the same as flourishing. Some of us aren't running out, we're not running on a full tank anymore. Many of us are operating on fumes. We're operating from a point of responsibility. We're operating on caffeine. We're operating on a wing and a prayer and pure determination. Life is frustrating. Everything costs more. Expectations are high. People are working harder, sometimes with two and three different things, but don't necessarily feel like they're getting further ahead. And perhaps the most dangerous part of this all is that we have learned how to normalize exhaustion.
Mm.
We wear being busy like it's a badge of honor. We celebrate people for never stopping. We call exhaustion commitment and burnout dedication. But eventually, your body, your mind, your emotion, and sometimes your relationships at any level will need to collect the bill.
Mm.
So tonight, we want you to know we have to figure out, we have to determine how do we take rest before rest take us. Coach Lima?
I love that. How do we take rest before rest takes us? Because it will take us. I wanna make this personal because I know this is going to resonate with some people, and I want to be fully transparent. And I'm going to give you a really brief timeline, really quick. Um, my son was born in 2014. The first 6 years of his life was zero sleep, with surgery after surgery. By the time he was 10, he had 8 surgeries.
Mm.
So couple that with emergency room visits, breathing issues, him at certain points not breathing, and us having to revive him. While in the meantime, I went back to school to get my bachelor's. And then I turned around and went and got my master's while simultaneously getting my coaching certification, starting a business, started another business that didn't quite fully come to fruition, but still had my coaching business. While my husband had some significant losses in his family, I had significant losses in my family. I'm traveling to speak. Now I'm homeschooling my son, right? You hear that? I'm going on and on and on and on and on, and life is happening. I
Mhm.
planned a women's retreat that I had this year that was a success. And before the retreat happened and during the retreat, I thought afterward I would feel this burst of energy and fulfillment. And you know what happened? My body crashed. It completely crashed. All inspiration went out the door, out the window, and everywhere else it could exit. I had zero. So I had to clear my calendar. I had to stop seeing clients. I felt, everybody's like, you have to have another retreat. So I felt the pressure to have another retreat. So I started planning a retreat, and then I kind of pulled back because now I have to honor what my body and what my mind is saying. But
Mhm.
as I reflected and looked back, I have lived in a state of fight or flight since my son has been
Mm.
born. I have lived in a state of an unregulated nervous system since my son has been born, and which got heightened when my mother got sick and having to take care of my mother. And so last week, I'm so in tune now with what I need. It's an immediate, okay, I can't do it. But I think that a lot of us, and I would even say most of us, we get caught up in the going and going, and we just keep going and we keep going and going. And we think that we're only valuable. We get to a point where we think we're only valuable when we're putting out fires.
Mm.
We think that we have to be putting out a fire, we have to be dealing with an issue, we have to be handling a crisis. And when we have to really just be still and sit down and rest, we don't know how to do that. It's a challenge. But resting is not a luxury, it's a discipline.
Mhm.
Mm. Say that again. Say that again.
Resting is not a luxury, it's a discipline.
And as a discipline, you have to teach yourself. And so now you have to become the teacher of self and the learner of the discipline. So you're the teacher and the learner. You have to teach yourself how to lean into this new discipline. I love something that you said earlier, Coach Lehman. I don't know if you ever took the time to lean into it, but I'm going to press you to lean into it. Right? You list a number of things and endeavors that you were handling at the same time, in addition to dealing with the situation with your son, and at the same time with um, going through the losses that on both sides of the family, and then having to be there for other individuals. And there's one thing you said. You said you went back to school, one degree after another, and then you started an endeavor. You started a business that did not quite come to fruition. Remember what I said a little while ago. I said at some point in your life, if we don't learn how to rest, something, relationship, some endeavor, something is going to show up and want to collect the bill. The bill is going to come. And a lot of times, failure is not a lack of effort. Sometimes, failure is you paying the bill for what your body and your mental has been telling you for so long.
Mhm.
Well, we have heard this, and it sounds very cliche-ish, but we've heard this before. You cannot pour from an empty cup. One of the biggest challenge for people who care about others is that everybody gets a piece of you.
Mhm.
Family gets some of you, work gets some of you. Those of us who are in religious circles, church gets some of you, friends get some of you, the community gets some of you, your business that you're starting gets some of you. The people who need us get some of us. And sometimes by the time everybody gets their piece, there's nothing left for you.
Nothing left. Yeah.
You don't have nothing to give back to yourself. Right? So here's my question that I want us to lean into a little bit tonight. What happens when everybody can count on you, but you can no longer count on you?
Mhm.
You can love people and still have limits. I've come to learn that. Right?
That I recently had to start dealing with that, Pastor. Setting boundaries for people, because if you allow people to keep pushing you, even sometimes when you don't want to be pushed, but you've always been the person that people count on, and you haven't set boundaries, then it becomes problematic. And I shared this just last week. I had to set a boundary. Well, the boundary was already there, but I had to enforce the boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And the person did not like it because it's not what they're used to. And you know, well, I'm gonna say this. They tried to stop me on a Thursday afternoon. So you already know what that means, Pastor Beaver
Mm-hmm.
and Coach Lima. I kindly said, not today, my dear. I said, you may see me during my regular working hours. But it won't take, but I know that you can see me during my regular working hours. And I'm the type, well, I used to be, I'm a reformed non-boundary setter. But
Reform people pleaser.
a reformed people pleaser.
Mhm.
Yes. Because I always try to help people. I want to be a resource for people. I want them to feel like my door is always open. You can talk to me, but there's still have to have boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with that. I finally come to terms with it. There's nothing wrong with having boundaries.
Yeah. And setting boundaries, I've come to learn also, setting boundaries um, is not always to keep people out. Setting boundaries sometimes is to make sure that people don't come in too fast.
Mm,
It's like the speed bumps in the parking lot. It's not to
mm-hmm,
stop you from navigating the parking lot. It's to make sure that you navigate the parking lot at a safe rate of speed. So you
mm-hmm.
can love people and still have limits. You can be committed and still need a break. You can be dependable without having to always consistently be available. You can care
Oh,
about
that's a good
everybody.
one.
Yes, it is possible. You can care about everybody else without abandoning yourself. And so here's one of those boundaries we're going to give tonight. It's an old cliche. You've heard me say it before. I'm going to say it really slow and really nice tonight so it doesn't come off. Right? But here's one of them. Give yourself permission to be selfish. Give yourself permission to be selfish. Not selfish in the sense that nobody else matters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the healthy kind of selfish. Recognize that you matter too. So sometimes you have to say, today I'm choosing me.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't love you, not because I don't care about you, but because if I keep giving everybody else what I have, eventually I won't have anything left to give at all. So taking care of yourself is not selfish when the purpose is for you to become healthy enough to
Mm-hmm.
keep living, loving, leading, and serving well. So give yourself permission to be selfish. And here's the bottom line, not toss it back over the coaches. Is why you have to give yourself permission to be selfish. Are you ready? This is a big one. It's a mic drop. So you want to get a pen and paper and write it down. The reason why, the definition of why you want to give yourself permission to be selfish. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you need 3 seconds to get a pen and paper. I'll give you that. One, two, two and a half,
Ready?
three. Here is why you have to give yourself permission to be selfish. Because nobody else is going to do it for you.
Mhm.
No one else is going to give you permission for you to be selfish. Coach Lima?
Wow.
Mhm.
Before we do that, one of our followers said, resting is something I cherish more of these days. I shoot for 7 to 8 hours of sleep daily, but there are hit or misses. For those people getting their peace, have me looking at them as a distraction most of the time. So when they're trying to get a piece of this follower, it's a distraction.
Mhm. But you know what happens too when I think a lot of these conversations have become more prevalent post pandemic when people are talking about mental health, people are talking about resting, you hear a lot of conversations now about boundaries and
Mhm.
self-care. And I think that when a concept becomes a buzzword, if you will, it loses its weight in a sense. You know, it's almost like when somebody's kind of just regurgitating the same scripture over and over, you know, it starts to become cliche, and it starts to sound like, you know, something soft, or, you know, something that people are talking about. It starts to sound like that luxury, you know. And the cliche version of this, I think a lot of people get caught up into the cliche version of rest as like your bubble baths, your, you know, your scented candles and all that
Correct.
stuff.
Correct.
Great.
Correct.
Don't get me wrong. All of that stuff has its place. But I think that we are talking about rest as something that will help us down regulate our nervous system, right? Because if we're stuck in a high voltage state all the time, this is where sickness comes in.
Mhm.
This is where you talking about autoimmune issues, you talking about inflammatory diseases, you talking about cardiovascular issues. I mean, let's be real, we're all of a particular age, and stress affects us a little bit different, a little bit harder these days. You know, it's a little bit harder on us. And so we're not talking about the soft cliche version of this. We're really talking about carving up time to rest. Like one of the
Yes.
followers talked about distractions, being able to block out and minimize distractions, being able to give people less access to us. Because when we view it as a cliche, we stay trapped in this belief that our value is in what we do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
It's a trap, it's a
Mhm.
cycle. It keeps us
Mhm.
going and going and going and going. And then what happens, we start to, you know, maybe look at our mental health, but then we start to rank it in terms of, we may look at somebody else and say, well, I don't have it as bad as they do. So
Correct.
I don't have the right to stop.
I think one of the things that we do, Coach Lima, is a lot of times we confuse exhaustion with the cost of productivity.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We have created this culture where we almost feel guilty to stop and rest. And I love what you
Yeah.
say. It's more than just getting sleep, right? Uh, we have this guilt complex that if I'm not working, then I should be answering emails. If I'm not answering emails, I should be cleaning. If I'm not cleaning, I should be planning and preparing. If I'm not planning and preparing, I should be helping somebody. And even when our body stops, our mind still keeps running. That's not rest. Rest is
Mm-mm.
not just sleep, because it is possible to sleep 8 hours and still wake up emotionally exhausted.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need that physical rest. Yes, your body needs to stop, but sometimes you need that mental rest.
Yeah.
Your mind needs to stop solving problems, trying to come up with solutions. You need that emotional rest. You need somewhere that you don't have to be strong. I
Yeah.
say this a lot, and you've heard me say this before, Dr. Cradle. If among your friends or the rooms that you find yourself in, if you are the strongest person in the room, find another room. Go find somebody else that you can talk to. There's a social rest. Sometimes you just need to disconnect from people. I
Mhm.
don't feel like being bothered with people all the time. And God forbid, I'm a pastor, and I tell folks all the time, I don't feel like talking to y'all today.
Mhm.
And he will tell you that.
Don't call
He
me
has.
or text me. But I don't feel like it. Spiritually, you need rest. You need time
Mhm.
to reconnect. You need to walk away from some stuff. So you don't have to earn your rest by almost destroying yourself first.
That is it. It's so true. And because really your body, not just your body, but your mind, you need time to replenish.
Hmm.
You definitely need time to replenish. And we have to learn that, like you said, and don't feel guilty about it. Just I'm not doing anything today. I'm not helping anyone today. I'm replenishing myself, because when you continually help everyone else, it starts to become unhealthy. Like Coach Lena said, it becomes unhealthy for you. You can get physically sick from trying to just do too much and
Absolutely.
trying to be everything to everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that point that you were making, Coach Lima, is so powerful, right? At some point, we have to decide that your well-being deserves a place on your calendar too. It's not fixing it for everybody else. Right? What about me? It's okay to be selfish in that moment of what about me? So when's the last time you made appropriate, necessary plans to schedule yourself into your own life?
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
To schedule yourself. Open your calendar and look at it. Everybody else is scheduled their meetings and appointments and work and
mhm.
children and spouses and organizations and deadlines. This is one of the reasons why I'm not involved in a whole lot of organization. I can't keep running to a conference every other week. You got to ask yourself, where am I on my calendar? Schedule time when nobody gets you.
Yeah.
Schedule
Pastor,
even
I don't play about my solo days.
right. And I tease her about that. You're going on a walk again?
Pastor said a solo date. What is a solo date? Just what I said. A solo date. I take
I feel
myself
like
to
I'm
lunch.
taking a
I
solo day. I
take
said, what
myself
is
to
that?
brunch all by myself. But you know what I think happens? I know we're talking about this rest from the vantage point of helping other people. But then there's also the flip side to that where, our brain becomes conditioned and to believe that productivity equals safety, right?
Oh,
Hmm?
So this topic made me think of a conversation that I had with a friend of mine who sent me a text message and was like, she's like, have you ever felt this way before? No matter what the goal, you reach the goal, you hit the mark, but you still feel like you're waiting for life to start, right?
mm,
So I call it the jumping on the what's next train. And even without anybody else's involvement, you think about how we do one thing, we set a goal, we meet the mark. Now it's like I have to set another one. And you
mhm.
set another goal and you meet the
Yeah.
mark, and now you have to set another one. And you just get in this loop where you just keep going and going and going. And the only way to reset is to remove the performance aspect of
Performance
our life.
task. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Performance task. You're giving everybody else you. And the challenge is the danger in it is don't wait until life makes you have to stop. Rest is not quitting.
Mhm.
Slowing
Mm,
down is not falling behind. Taking care of yourself is not selfish.
at all.
And you don't need a vacation to rest. You don't need 7 days in the Caribbean. You need 7 hours of not having to deal with anything else. Turn off the cell phone. Having boundaries doesn't mean that you stop caring. Sometimes slowing down is how you make sure that you keep going. Because life will, the young people say life will be lifing. Our
Hmm.
old people say life will keep asking. Life always wants something. Ooh, let me say it a nice way. People will always keep needing. What I really want to say is sometimes we have too many needy people in our lives.
Hmm.
Check your friend circle. If every time you call there's a need, I'm gonna put you on the filter list.
Yeah.
Work is going to keep coming, problems are going to keep appearing, but there's only one you. Only one you. So before you answer that next email, that next text message, before you accept another responsibility, don't let folks talk you into, oh, you want to be in leadership, you want to be on another committee. You're not even committed to the committees you're on now.
Mhm.
Correct.
Mhm.
Before you say
So,
yes to another request, I can't accept everybody's speaking engagement request.
mhm. Yep.
So before you give another person another piece of yourself, Ask yourself, what do I need right now? Maybe you don't need another strategy. You don't
Yeah.
need another opportunity. Maybe you don't need another motivational speech telling you to hustle harder. Maybe you just need to rest.
And I think too, there's often a guilt associated with stopping. And just because the guilt comes and we feel guilty, that doesn't mean that we made the wrong decision. We just have to learn how to work through the guilt, because guilt will come as a decision of saying no, as a
Mhm.
decision of setting boundaries, as a decision of sending somebody to voicemail, right? There will be a level of guilt that shows its head. And the idea of the goal is to work through the guilt, work through that emotion, and but don't let it overtake you to where you give in and now you're just you make yourself readily available all over again, and you
Mhm.
get back, you start going back down that rabbit hole. So
Yeah. That's powerful, Coach Lima, right? Because a lot of people tell us, don't feel guilty. You're not that powerful. You're not
yeah,
there yet. You don't know how to not feel guilty. But sometimes you have to allow the guilt to have its place, right? Guilty, feeling guilty about something does not mean that you feel bad about it and then you have to correct it. So I tell some people, the young people say, well, I text you and you left me on red or you left me on open. What time? Yeah, that was on purpose. That was on purpose. There's some calls that I purposely sent to voicemail.
mhm.
There's some text message that nope, I can't respond to this now. There's some emails I can't take it. And sometimes I don't care who you are. Sometimes my children will reach out to me and, well, Daddy, you should always take my call. Well, yeah, sometimes y'all are at the age now where y'all are draining. I can't, not right now.
Then they just send you a check and be like, Dad, just hit the cash app.
Right.
Okay.
That's why I didn't answer the first call.
Okay.
That cash
Yes.
app.
If your Cash App's not working, just do Apple Pay. It's okay.
They know I'm old. And then when you don't do anything, they'll be like, I know your account number. Can I just do it myself? What? Like Dr. Crew said, what?
Oh boy. Well, this has been really, really good. And um, just one more question. And hopefully, and I want you all to think about this for the week. If you're someone who's watching and you said to yourself, wait a minute, you flex your pearls and you say, they are talking about me. So, and you know that you're exhausted. You know that you need some rest. So, what is one thing that you can do this week to increase the amount of rest that you get? Just one thing. You don't have to answer now. You don't have to put it in the chat, but we do want you to think about that. What is something that you can do to increase the amount of rest that you get? We can just let that sit there for a second. And like Pastor said, do you really know how to rest without feeling guilty? Do you know when you need to slow down? Do you ignore the signs when you know that you need a break? Do you just ignore it? And then when you finally get some downtime, can you actually relax? Hmm. These are just a few questions. Just a few questions. That was a good one, guys. Really good. And I hope that something we said tonight helps someone as they're learning how to rest. Okay, Coach Lima, do you have any announcements?
Well, speaking of rest, today is JJ's 12th birthday, and we have been celebrating since Thursday.
Woo-hoo.
Woohoo!
Last kid home right before I jumped on here. So want to talk about rest? Yeah, it's going down because Mama's tired. Mama is
And,
wore out.
and they have a level of energy that is like, whoa.
Boys, you can forget about it.
You'd be
Oh,
like, you
wait.
tired
I'm
already?
gonna rest.
You tired already? We only been here 12 hours. But,
Wow.
but happy birthday to JJ.
Yes, happy birthday to him.
Oh, he's almost in the teen years, girl. You
Yeah.
getting, I mean, you're getting young.
He acting like a preteen too.
Oh boy. Well, that's awesome. Tell him that we said happy birthday to him.
I will. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay, Pastor Weaver, do you have any announcements?
I do, as a matter of fact. If you're in the Metro Atlanta area on next Saturday, from 10 to 2 p.m., the Chief Magistrate Judge for the juvenile court system in DeKalb County will be hosting a town hall, a parent town hall. It will be at Friendship Baptist Church in the Duluth area. Duluth is a city here in Gwinnett County, and I will be privileged to be one of the panelists on that at that town hall, along with the new superintendent of the Gwinnett County Public Schools and our police chief here in the area, with some other personnel that will be on there, as we are looking for ways in our community to address and solve for ourselves. How do we re-engage our young people in a way that steers them away from? This magistrate court judge says that 95% of the cases that come before her are young brown and black males and females who are under the age of 18
Hmm.
and coming to before her for petty stuff. And so she is looking for ways that we have to stop packing out the jails and start sentencing these young people to things like go back and finish your high school education, or go take up a trade, and those different things. So I'm super excited about this. Again, it will be next Saturday, the 22nd, from 10 a.m. To 2 p.m. at the Friendship Baptist Church there in the city of Duluth. They will be providing some nourishment, because you can't have black people anywhere for more than 2 hours and not feed
And
us.
some food.
So they'll be providing some food. So you will come out, if you're in the area, you will come out and join us.
Dr. Curtis, they better have some food.
Better have some snacks.
Listen.
Listen, okay?
Okay.
So looking
That
forward to it. Looking forward to it.
That's awesome. And I know it's going to be powerful. So just keep both of you guys, just keep doing all the wonderful things that you do. You're both really amazing. And I really feel privileged to be on this lean in team with you guys. You're just doing amazing things. Um, so I do have to share that yesterday I had another Brood for More event in Gwinnett County, and that's been one of my goals, is to support um, Black-owned businesses. And this place is a coffee shop, cafe, and co-working space that, if you follow me on social media, you saw the pictures. It's an amazing space, owned by a young lady named Simone. And it's really, it's so funny that we're talking about this resting piece, because that's the goal of the Brood for More events. It's an opportunity for women to come together. We don't have an agenda. All it is, I'm just buying them a cup of coffee and we're just sitting around talking. And I have to tell you that it was supposed to be from 10 to 12. The last people left at about 12:40, because we were just sitting around chilling, talking, laughing, connecting, reconnecting. So we have another one coming up in October, on October the 3rd. So if you're in Metro Atlanta and you want to stop by, it'll be back at Brewed Up Coffee Shop and we'd love to have you. It's just a time for us to sit and chill. So we'd love to have you if you are in the Metro Atlanta area. Oh, the first 30 women now. I can't buy it if all 3,000 of y'all come. I we have to call on Pastor Weaver to help get some coffee.
That's what it sounded like it's going to turn into.
3,000, right? 3,000 might show up because I saw you from the pictures. I saw you had some elected officials. You have some political candidates in the house. So
that's going to grow. That's
glad
going to
I know you.
It was amazing. It was truly amazing.
Don't act funny and finicky when you arrive, and we show up. We ride in your coattail.
We don't need some scholarships.
Listen, we are riding together. We're ride or die. We're riding together. Oh boy. Well, thank you, everyone. What a conversation. Tonight, we talked about something that many of us know we need, but still struggle to give ourselves permission to receive, and that is rest. And maybe the biggest takeaway from tonight is this: rest is not something we should wait to do until we have absolutely nothing left. We don't have to wait until we're exhausted. We don't have to wait until we're frustrated. We don't have to wait until we're burned out. And we certainly don't have to wait until our bodies force us to stop. Sometimes wisdom sounds like, that's enough for today. Sometimes strength looks like saying no. Sometimes faith means trusting that everything will not fall apart simply because we stepped away for a moment. So this week, we want to challenge everyone watching to find one intentional way to rest before you reach empty. Thank you for leaning in with us tonight. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your comments, and your perspectives. And as always, thank you for being a part of the Lean In with CWJ family. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, take the rest before rest takes you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.